moving straight to our fourth question for the day. And Miss Loretta, see, your fourth question is: can you discuss the relationship between language, culture, and governance in the context of promoting effective governance?
Okay, so I think the relationship between these three is that, as I said, we are the government, or we the people are the government. And so, if we have our languages there and we are preserving our culture, it will help to promote better governance. Because if we are incorporating our local language into our governance structure, people will understand why they should not do this. I remember during the COVID-19 time, people didn't understand why we should wear a nose mask, why we are supposed to wash our hands, why we are supposed to be indoors. That is the lockdown.
Why we are supposed to keep social distance.
And then the police had to keep arresting people for breaking the social distancing mark. But I feel like if we were able to speak to them in their local languages, for them to understand that, if you sit more than this kilometers or meters close to the person, you can be infected with the virus.
Okay.
And they should not make it too technical. They should break it down for the ordinary person to understand it. And that is done best in the local language.
So this work is actually for the NCC people.
I feel like it's not only the NCC, the president. I remember even the fellow Ghanaians, speech that he was having. I feel like if he spoke majority of it in local language.
But some of them he actually made it in the Ghana and the
He did, but it was only the greeting. The ending part of his speech.
Okay.
But the majority part of his
was
speech
said in English.
Right. I don't know why people Ghanaians have this perception that if you speak English, you are too or what you are. So I feel like if they speak the local language, it gives them this level of connection to the people, and then it helps to be able to promote governance and promote the government structure, because people understand why these laws exist and why you're supposed to do this. So the relationship is really interconnected, and I feel like if governments are intentional about doing this, then it will really help us to push the country forward, because the government is not making progress because people are not obeying the laws. People don't obey the laws because people don't understand the laws. So when we speak your local language, it helps to connect with the people, for them to understand why the laws are there, and then for them to obey the laws.
Yeah, because even if you go over the seas, they are American people, and they tend to speak English language. So I feel like, why not in a country called Ghana, different dialects are always speaking? Why don't we use our languages, the Chi, the Ga, the Ewe, and all the rest of the languages together for a better Ghana? That's so. Miss Loretta, the fifth question I would like to ask is that, where are some common challenges that governments face when trying to implement local language use in governance?
So I think the challenges are basically simple. The first one is that we have so many languages in Ghana, and I feel like because we have many languages in Ghana, people may feel that we are focusing too much on the 4 main languages, that is Twi, Ga, Ewe, and Hausa, or what the northern people speak. So because people may feel that we are focusing too much on the 4 main languages, they may feel like their own language is being neglected. And we cannot translate all the parliamentary procedures to each and every language in Ghana. So that is going to be a huge barrier. But then I also feel like we can overcome that barrier in the sense that the Akan people, even though they speak Santi, one and all of those things, the majority of them speak Asante. So it would be better to educate them that, we know that we have different languages, but because of we want to reduce the number of time we waste in translating the language, let's focus on translating for the Akan people in Chiefs. When we go to the southern part of Ghana, that is Ghana, they speak Adami, they speak Ghana, they speak a lot of languages. But we tell them that, because we want to reduce the way we interpret the language, that translating is for these people in Ghana. So even though there are many languages, we are able to streamline them or narrow them down to maybe 5 or 4 main languages that we are translating our governance in. The second thing I need to express is that our financial constraints. Ghana is not going on in its finance sector. There are so many things we need to do as a country: our roads, our education, our economy, our infrastructure. So using money to translate these things, or using money to incorporate our local language in our government sector will take a lot of burden, or put a lot of burden on our finance ministry. But then I think that if we are intentional about it, we can actually get some funds, because we have oil, we have resources, we have a lot of things that we can extract money or resources from. And I think the last thing would be the personnel. or the resources or the human resources that we use to translate. We have a lot of people who speak the language. But we have
people have even gone to school to do linguistics.
Yes, exactly. But we don't, take them, or we don't recruit them to come and help us in our community, so even in our whole governance structure. So I think that we need to get people who are well equipped or who are well trained in a particular language to help translate those things and to help make people understand what is going on in the country and in our government as a whole.
Yeah, that's very nice. So sister and say our phone on my shame crying be a ofia and your bro phone corner I'll be to my account with you. A kakra, a kakra, and send me say Casabi out in account with you, send a bear, or money, wow, phone if you're phone near who and cheap any baby I would want, as I don't want to keep you waiting. So, I mean, the last question is how can the government balance the use of local languages with national or international languages in government? You know that with the Parliament House, I remember there was a time that a member of Parliament wanted to use his local dialect for submission in the Parliament, and then they struck out some of the issues people were talking about here. So how can the government actually balance the use of English language in these local dialects?
So before I begin, I want to say that the submissions are being so far. They are not to say that we should not speak English. No, not at all. I will fully support and encourage that children are able to understand English. English is an international language. So if you want to represent ourselves to the international community, it's important that most, or in fact, the majority of our children understand, can speak, can read, and can write English. I can't emphasize that part enough. We must speak English because that is our mother. That is our first language. That is who we're colonized by. So I'm not saying don't speak English, but I'm just saying that we should not lose focus of our home language or our mother language as well, because that is who we are as a people. If you take away the English from Ghana, what else is there? That is our language. So I think that the balancing of English and our local language can be done alongside. When the MP are talking about, when you watch the video, he made the assertion, he made the submission that the reason he was speaking through was because yes, people on consultancies were saying that they don't understand what is going on in Parliament. So when people talk, they are left in the dark. They don't understand what is going on. So it's like they feel disconnected from the governance system. So that is the reason why he spoke his local language. But even after that, he translated it to English so that we can also understand what he's saying. The only problem with that will be just the translation. It will waste time because the parliamentary proceedings can take the whole day. So if you're going to say, okay, if you speak English, if you speak you also translate it to English, it will take some time. But then I think that, as I said earlier, the TV stations who are given the right to translate these proceedings must have the burden and translate these things into two. So maybe the parliamentary candidate can speak English or Ghana, or interchange anything that he does. But then the TV station, depending on where it's located, if it's located in Cape Coast, it must translate the proceedings to fancy. Exactly. So we can balance the English and the local language very well. Just that we should not lose focus on the fact that we are Ghanaians. Before we became we spoke English, we were speaking our local language as well. And for the our colonial masters. So we should just make sure that as we speak the English, we also speak the tree and the English. We can balance it. It just depends on how we as a people prioritize putting our language. If we put our language, we can actually do it.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and you taking time out of your busy schedule to come help me put this information out there for the general public to know what is actually happening. I really appreciate your time.
It's your pleasure.
Alright, thank you very much. Anytime and any day I can actually reach out to you for you to come in and share your thoughts on all the things that I already. So today that's the basic thing that we came to do. Since today is the 6th March, we are encouraging the whole Ghanaians to speak their local language. You can't say almost say almost far from that you say almost say a brand new abidiano, they say what's it before. Now before next you Okasa Okan will feel a gun. They are coming. They say over because you won't grab your own car, but for almost take us a bit apart from English, and that's not fine. It's good to understand English and to speak and to write. But what of your local dialect? You should be able to also represent yourself in your local dialect. That is what we came to do. So, Miss Loretta, if you have anything to anyone to shout out to, anyone to say hi to us,
okay, so I'll just say hello to the UPSA North Students Union. I'd like to give a shout out to them. And then the students of level 300 money too. I would like to give a shout out to them. And my
That's your
family.
class, right?
Yeah, that's my class. And then my family and my friends are home.
Alright, that's very fine. And then I think I would also want to do justice to the crew members. Shout out to Mr. Patrick, Mr. Soft, and Mr. James. They were the people who actually helped us to bring this video to the doorstep of you guys. So the pinpoint law series, and we say the law to your doorsteps. Thank you very much for joining.